In this video, we are going to demonstrate how to add the Flubaroo add-on to the Google form that you have already created specifically to your school for each grade level if you are implementing this digitally. So just a reminder, in section 1 of the video, we went over the math instrumentation site here. We learned how to download our own form, and remember that you're using one form per school but also per grade. So if you're in an elementary school, you're most likely going to have to make your own copies of grade 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then share those with those teachers so that the students can access them. So if you recall, we made our own Google form, so you're going to have to go find that Google form in your Google Drive. And just to remind you that we had named it, so make sure that you know you're finding the right one because you renamed it your school name with your own DU. And then you'll also recall that we went to the live form, which was like this, and then we shared this link with the students. And then the students went through this, they identified their class codes and filled it out. So as the students fill it out, when you come back to the original form that you have, you'll see that the responses are slowly filling in. So obviously for a larger school, you're going to have a lot of students filling this in and responding. This is where Flubaroo comes into action. So for this example, I've just recorded a couple responses, but as you can see, here they are. And so if I click on responses and say view responses, I can see the different students, about the timestamps of when they completed the tests, their usernames, their grades, and then their answers. So what you're going to want to do here before you add the Flubaroo is you as the lead teacher or principal are going to want to actually complete the form yourself. So go back to the site, make sure that you get the appropriate key, which can be found down here. And then you're going to actually want to complete the exam yourself, or the test yourself, the MIPI. And so I've already done this here. You can see here's Aaron Muller, and I've answered it. And what I've done is I've basically created the key for this Google form. So once all the students in your school that were required to write the grade 2 math intervention programming instrument have done it, you're going to want to add the key. So here it is. The next thing you're going to want to do then is go up to this section here called add-ons, and you're going to want to add the Flubaroo add-on. So if you've already got Flubaroo installed, it's going to show up right here, and for those people, you probably know how to use Flubaroo and go at it. If you don't, you'll want to get the Flubaroo add-on. So click on Get Add-ons. Flubaroo is a pretty popular one, so it may just show up right here in the front screen like this, like it did for me. If it doesn't show up somewhere in the screen, you can scroll through to try to find it, or just search for it. Adding the add-on is pretty basic. Just hover over it or go to the corner like this one and click on Free. It's going to ask you to verify that this can communicate with your Google account, and this isn't an issue. Click Accept. This takes about a minute or two for it to work. When it works, you'll see boom, it pops up like that, and it even gives you more instructions and video tutorials how to work with it. So what Flubaroo basically does is it cross-references the key that you put in as the teacher or the lead teacher in your school or principal against all the other ones that were there. So remember, before you can run this, you've got to ensure that you have added basically an answer key to the form. So now when I go back up to add-ons and click on add-ons, I'll see that Flubaroo is here. And you can slide over to the right and you can grade this assignment. Flubaroo only marks things if there's a defined answer, like true or false, multiple choice, select from a grid, those types of things. So I'm going to grade this assignment. And so it starts to do a little bit of work. And so there's a couple things that you need to do. At first, it says grading points. What grade are you in? Do you want to attribute what grade are you in as a point? Well, we don't want to give that a point because that's nothing. So we want to skip grading that one. What is your class code? We also want to skip that one. And the sample question for grade 2, because there was a sample question, we also want to skip that one. For most of the other grades from grades 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, there wasn't a sample, but there was the grade and the class code. And you're going to have to skip grading on those because we don't want to mark those as part of the MIPI. All the rest of them are numbered, and we want to give them a 1-point value. Okay. In terms of the grading options, you can identify the students, that's fine. And then as you can see, it shows you all the different questions here, all worth 1 point. So just remember, what grade are you in your class code? We want to skip grading for that. Then we'll click on the continue button. And then it's going to say which one of these is the answer key. So obviously for you guys at the school level, you're going to have many more submissions here. You're going to want to find the one that you did as a teacher. Another little cheat or easy way to find it is all the students are going to have their first initial, last name at share.epsb.ca, and you as the teacher would have just your first name dot last name at epsb.ca. So that's my answer key. I click on that one and say continue. This will take a couple minutes or so to mark. Obviously, the larger the school that you have, the more time it will take. And so what you can see here now is that when you want to view the grades, you can clearly see over here, these are the usernames of the students who did it. You'll no longer see my name, Aaron Muller, or your name as the key, because that's what it's referencing. And so up here, you can see the total points they got, their percentages, and as well, you can see specifically which questions they got right or wrong. So right here, it's really easy for me to see that this Jane individual got 12 points out of 18. They scored 60% on this test. Jay Eberly scored 17, got 85%. A. Besso got 11. So clearly this student, if this was a real MIPI, would require an intervention. You at the school level can also do some further data analysis as you scroll to the left and the right. These highlighted sections are indicating to you that the majority of the students did not answer that question successfully. Regardless, though, what it's done here is it's clearly identified the students, the total points, and the percentages of what they've done. Now you've got all of the questions marked for the MIPI, which will make it really easy for you to submit your results to the MIPI share site. If you do get another student that submitted after you thought that you were done, all you do is the same process over again. Click on add-on and regrade the assignment. In the end, again, this is the area that you want to be concerned with. You can do further data analysis, and Flubaroo has a good website, and on our MIPI website we've linked to that site as well, so you can learn more about it. But really what you're doing this for is so that you can easily look at the assignments and determine very quickly which students are going to require an intervention and which ones are not. And then further, you can look at the essential outcomes and then decide how are you going to address that. Hope that video helps regarding how to implement Flubaroo.